In this video, I'm going to give you a 30-day manifestation exercise that you can start to implement today. Meaning after this video, you will be equipped with an exercise that you can do for the next month to help you shift your identity. So in this video, again, we're going to talk about this exercise, how to implement it, how it works, how it changed my life once I started to really, day by day, follow this exercise. And also I want to share with you again how you can really shift your identity, your state, the version of yourself right now, to align with the version of yourself that has already achieved the goal. So it will be a detailed video. It will probably be at least like 15-20 minutes long. So please do me a favor and make sure you watch it till the end. Like I sometimes say, this does not only serve my YouTube watch time, which helps the channel grow and spread this message to more people, but especially it helps you to train your attention to stay on one video and watch it from beginning to end. And it also will help you to actually, get the most out of what I'm going to share with you so that you can see results in your life, that you can actually see changes in your circumstances. But if you're here to only nitpick some information and you quickly want some dopamine spikes, then maybe go on TikTok, maybe go to Instagram Reels, watch some short snippets of content. But this video requires you to watch it so that you can soak in the most information possible. But I want to see your changes. I want to see your successes. But this is only possible when you really follow this advice and you not nitpick any random little snippet here and there. Okay, but you understand the bigger picture philosophy of how you can manifest your goals and how you can shift your inner world. All right. So with that, let's just dive right in. And for the next 30 days, I want you to do this. Consciously pick your outfit. Well, not the physical outfit that you wear as a piece of cloth. No, pick your outfit. As you're picking whatever it is that you're wearing that day, you go to your wardrobe, you go to pick, whatever clothes you put on in the morning. And that's maybe something you do in the beginning of the day, probably, right? Or in the evening. But I want you to pick, as you pick your outfit, I basically want you to pick your identity. Who is it that you are? Who is it that you say you are? Who is it? From which state do you want to see the world that day? And if you do that for 30 days, you will see a change. You will notice that your reactions change. You will already probably even see some changes in your outside world, right? But we do this more for the practice of consciously deciding who it is that we are. So instead of, picking your external outfit, do that as well. But also pick your identity, pick your state that you're going to wear for that day, for the next 30 days. So do that every morning and also every night. But I will talk about the details later. So slip into the person, into the identity that you'd like to embody. Right? And we can do that. If you wake up and you wake up with the same conditioning, with the same mental clutter, with the same thoughts, emotions, perceptions every day, not much will change, or changes will be very slow. Yet if you decide, when you wake up, you decide, okay, today I'm going to be this. Even before you stand out of bed, before you go to the bathroom, before you go to your wardrobe, before you do anything, who is it that you are that day? Decide that consciously. Pick that version of yourself consciously. Dwell in that version for a while and then stand up from being that new version right now. So playfully, don't carry memories from old identities with you. And this is something, guys, if you get this, for me, this was a game changer. So of course, when you wake up and your mind starts to become active again, you remember, what you did yesterday, what you did a week ago. You carry all of these memories with you. But that's why I said playfully, don't carry those memories with you, right? Playfully decide, what would it be like right now if I would not have memories and have had all of these old experiences that taught me that I'm this version, that I should behave like this, or that I should, that money is scarce, or that relationships are difficult, or that health is hard to acquire. Try to be a blank slate. That's basically the point I'm trying to get across. Be as much as a blank slate as you can be, and only place on that blank slate the identity, the state, the person that you want to be for that day, right? And pretend you would have no memories. This can be super empowering, right? Because usually we are habitually falling into the old identities, right? We wake up, day starts to go on, and we find ourselves back in the same routines, the same patterns, the same rut, and we carry on the old identity, right? But if we do consciously every morning decide for this new identity, and you do this for 1, 5, 10, 20, 30 days, you will see a change. So which person are you choosing to be? Ground yourself in this new reality, right? Ground yourself. How can you ground yourself in this new reality? 2 things. First, you can always internally give your attention to that new identity again, meaning when you wake up, maybe once throughout the day, and when you go to bed, you ground yourself again in deciding, no, I'm this right now. How would I see the world if I would be this version? What would it feel right now if I would be this version right now? You declare to be that, and you can also use external reminders, meaning you can put on notes somewhere. You can have a vision board. You can have an app on your phone, or like a reminder app that reminds you choose identity consciously or something like that, so that you use whatever external things help you to stay as much as possible grounded in that new identity for the next 30 days. So this first slide, and we have much more to come, so this is only the introduction. There's way more important stuff that I want to share with you. But for the next 30 days, please commit yourself to do that. Pick in the morning your identity consciously. Okay, that is basically the exercise I want you to do. I want you to try, and you will see what effect that has on your life. And I want to talk with you about, something to really hone it in and to really help you make long-lasting changes in your life. Okay, so change is not a process. Change is a conscious decision in the here and now. I know that we perceive change over a time period, right? When we shift into a new state within, and we feel the relief, we feel it is done, we assume that new state, we assume that new identity, we dwell and occupy this new identity within, and kind of like see the world from it already, then externally it might take a certain, bridge of unfolding. It might take a time that we perceive on this level, right? It might take 3 days or a week or a month. So we see really this new identity like playing out and manifesting the results externally, which we first have experienced within, right? But actually change is not a process, because the change happens immediately in the here and now. When you decide that you are this version, then in that moment, in the here and now, there is only the now moment. Time is only a construct, but actually every shift takes place in the here and now. So when you right now dwell in something, when you right now imagine a congratulation, when you right now imagine a scene, an act that implies you have something, then that is a shift, that is a decision in the here and now. The bridge of unfolding is, in a sense, an illusionary, not to, get all esoteric here or to get super crazy, but I mean, within you already experience it. In reality, in consciousness, you shifted to that end. Everything that follows externally is simply the unfolding, but the change happens in the moment you decide you are that new version right now. Everything else that follows is simply the bridge that needs to take place in this world, so that you move across something and then you end up externally where you already stood within all the time. But the inner shift can happen immediately. So therefore, change is not a process. It is a conscious decision in the here and now. And that is what I said, right? When you pretend to have no memories, see yourself as a blank slate. But we are this blank slate, we are this awareness that is always going through states. It is always identified with certain states, basically, right? But the more you can also come back to being a blank slate, the more you can disengage from the contents of your slate, so to speak. Imagine a white piece of paper, and there's all this stuff on it, like a canvas. But if you can see yourself and rest and be aware, you're conscious, you're self-aware. Neville's first principle: be still and know that I am. Right? Then you can disengage from all of that, and then you can consciously pick, instead of being so overwhelmed by the content of your canvas, by all the states you're in, and you wake up carrying all these states with you, all these identities. That's why I said, again, wake up and not pretend you are actually a blank slate, but I mean, pretend you have no memories, become conscious, become aware, and then select who you want to be, instead of letting life determine that for you, letting your conditions, letting your past identities decide who you will be. No, you decide right now consciously who you are. All right? So blank slate, like I said, is I am. Right? That's your true self. That's your being. I am. We all share the same name, which is I am. Because after I am, you put your name. I am Niklas. I am living in Germany. I am talking about the law of assumption. I am a man. I am owning a business. You know what I mean? But we cannot say that we are something without saying I am. So I am is the constant that is there throughout all of our lives. That is our awareness of being, which, like I said, is always identified with contents, with states. But we can identify it with something new so that our life expresses new things, because our life is a mirror of our states of consciousness that we have alive inside of ourselves. Right? The content that your slate is filled with, that is a state you're in, which is then expressed in your world. Right? So if you want to see new things expressed in your world, because your world only and ever expresses what you are conscious of being, what you are dwelling on within, what you made alive inside of yourself, then you need to change the content that's on your canvas. Then you need to change your inner state. Right? How do you do that? Well, one way is with this 30-day exercise. Every morning you can decide which clothes you wear. Same for your state. Right? So as you consciously pick, oh, today I'm wearing this green pullover or this black pullover and this blue jeans. Well, you pick so easily your clothes, but why don't you also pick your state? Right? And put aside the chronological thinking, allow the shifting perspective. Because chronologically thinking is not fun. Let's all be super honest. When is it fun to think chronologically? Oh, this first needs to happen, and hopefully this happens, and hopefully after all of these things happen, well, then I can hopefully have my goal. The shifting perspective helps you to right now already be in the identity that has your goal, that has the achieved desire. More on that, by the way, I talk about in my free masterclass. If you want to really understand how to do that inner shift and align with that version of yourself that has the goal and sustain it, because that's the most important. Well, it doesn't serve if you do that once. You want to sustain that so that you can get all of the results. Right? In my free masterclass, first link in the video description, I talk with you about how to do that. Right? But that is the 30-day exercise. And this is the current paradigm for most people. So I've just put my image here. So the current paradigm for most people is this, right? They think that change and the manifestation and all of that stuff happens chronologically, meaning they think, okay, right now they experience illness, death, loneliness. These are 3 examples that some people experience. They have some symptoms, they don't have the money they want, or even they are in debt, or they're lonely, they're single, they don't have the person they want to be with, they don't have the relationship they want to be with. And then they think, oh, so, okay, I first have to, focus on the healing, on the next step, the healing, because I have right now the symptoms. So let me focus on the healing, or let me focus on reducing my debts. Let me focus on dating apps or what to say to people so that I can attract them better, stuff like that. And then this will bring me to the end result, to the health. This will bring me to the financial abundance. This will bring me to a happy partnership, right? These are the end states in a sense that we want. But I boldly declare that this paradigm is not false, but very limiting, because you focus on partial steps in between. You focus on this instead of right now going to the end, which is the new paradigm that I want to introduce here, right? Going immediately from A to C, which rationally doesn't make sense. Rationally, of course, our rational mind thinks, no, if I have the symptom, I need to do stuff, or I first need to heal it, and then I feel finally the health. But again, in our inner world, our inner state doesn't care what is right now appearing. You can right now, although you have a symptom, although you have not much money, although you're right now not in the partnership, you could still within awaken those end states, because they are within you. They are available right now, regardless of what right now is occurring in your world. So, you're the traveler traveling through states, right? I am. So your awareness plus the states it is identified with, that equals your life experience. So if you start to identify with new states, your life experience will over time change and you will get new things mirrored back. So if you decide a state is final, you will encounter the same manifestations, right? So if you say, okay, I am now just this person who is treated like that, then no matter where you go in this world, you can escape your current circumstances. You will again encounter people that treat you a certain way, for example, because you say, okay, I am just a person that is like that. But essentially no state is final, right? States are not final. If we would be the states we're in, then yes, it would be final, right? If you ever knew yourself to be a person that's not treated respectfully, for example, and if you would be the state, well then yes, you would forever get treated that way. But we are not the state. We are the awareness that's identified with it. So we can, in a sense, zoom out, leave that state, leave that identity behind, and go in a new identity, although we have no proof for it right now, still start to dwell within the new identity until it becomes natural, certain to us, normal, it becomes the new norm, it becomes certain to us, and then that is what the world reflects back, right? But if you decide something is final, you'll perceive it as final, but actually no state is final, no circumstance is final. It's never absolute, because circumstances move as soon as you start to move within yourself first. So day after day, you will wake up with the same reactions, the same situations, the same circumstances, and it can be this cycle. And when the dissatisfaction is high enough, that's usually the point when people say, okay, let's through all of this. I want to change in my life. I'm so dissatisfied. This is right now the time for me to change. If you right now should experience that point in your life, if there is something you're really dissatisfied with, then check out the second link in the pinned comments and video description, which is my program application. And there you can apply for my program to see if we are a good fit. If you want to shift into a state where the dissatisfaction is no longer there, but your life is actually as you want it to be. The circumstances in certain areas of your life have changed to a level where you're now satisfied with how things are. We can help you do that in our program, but we only work with a specific group of people, so do apply for that and see if you are a good fit. Second link in the video description, pinned comments. So you're essentially the blank slate, right? The I am. What do you add to it? I talked about this many times already, but what do you add to your I am? What do you say that you are? Right? The answer to the question, who am I, will determine the drama of your life. Right? So who are you? Who do you say you are? That answer, that will determine basically what your life is continuously showing you. So why not choosing a new state when you go to bed or when you wake up? So in the beginning of this video, in the 30-day exercise, I talked more about, when you wake up, that you consciously induce, consciously put yourself, consciously clothe yourself in this new identity, consciously put on this new mask of this new version of yourself. But you can also do it by going to bed. This is super helpful because when we go to bed, you don't want to take all the slumber, all the mud, so to speak, of your thoughts and emotions and states with you to sleep. You want to consciously say, I want to go to sleep and drop off to sleep in the depths of my consciousness, in the depths of my being, with that mood alive or with that state alive. That is super powerful. Right? New state, new identity equals new life experience. So let's continue here. Right? You always wake up and go to bed in certain moods, meaning you cannot stop this. Right? I mean, you always entertain certain moods. For example, empowered, excited, happy, or negative, depressed, unmotivated, stuff like that. Right? But why not decide that you now feel the opposite? Why not decide to know, from now on, I'm this person for the next 30 days? So in the morning, after waking up, ask yourself what you want from life. While still laying in bed, why not consciously determine the mood you will start the day with? Why not consciously planting imaginative seeds? This is the mood you carry into your day. Don't be passive. Prune the vine. Right? Don't be passive. Don't be a passenger in life. Right? Don't be a reactive to life, because then you will perpetuate the same stuff. No, determine new things and life will give you new things. It's waiting for your comment. Life is not a set in stone experience that you have to obey to. Right? Make your life conform, but you have to decide who you want to be first. You need that clarity. Again, all stuff that we can help you with in the program if that's relevant for you. So do that in the morning, and in the evening before sleeping, choose to feel relieved, thankful, happy, positive, to carry this mood into your consciousness, to see that mood reproduced tomorrow in new events, circumstances, and people. Prune the vine. Right? So carry these relieved, thankful, happy, positive, empowered, successful, ecstatic moods with you. Right? You could not feel ecstasy if your life would not be nice. So if you start to feel ecstasy and make that life in you, your life will give you more reasons to feel that. Right? First be happy, and then life will give you all reason to be so. Right? So first be in those empowered and, let's just say, create desirable states in your life will give you all reason to feel them again, because it is a delayed mirror. So wake up with determination. So you wake up with determination, determining who you want to be, and you go to bed with satisfaction, with feeling relief, gratitude, thankfulness, all the things that we just talked about. Right? And this is the last quote I want to share with you, and then we are already done with the video. I know it's been a little bit, but again, this message in this video is very important for me to bring to you. So the present moment is all important. For it is only in the present moment. Right? There is only the present moment, like I said in the beginning. So that's why your most precious asset, your most precious resource in life is where you give your attention to in the present moment. And waking up, going to bed, in those moments, give your attention consciously to your desired moods and states and identities. Only in the present moment, our assumptions can be controlled. The future, so what you desire, what you hope for, what you want from life, what you say, oh, this hopefully happens soon. No, this desire must become the present in your mind. It must already feel like an accomplished fact. You must already dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled if you would wisely operate the law of assumption. The future becomes the present when you imagine that you already what you will be when your assumption is fulfilled, right? So how do we make the future? How do we make that desire that right now seems far away and separate and hard to get, right? How do we make that the present? Well, if we, in the here now, imagine ourselves as that person that has achieved that goal, with, for example, a scene that implies that. What would a friend say? What would a family member say? What would you say to someone? What would you experience? What would you do differently that right now you can't do? These are all impulses for you to find a scene that implies that in the here and now moment, you are that person. And by the way, there are plenty of other techniques. This is just one very potent one, I would say, definitely. But if you need more techniques, more help on finding a technique that resonates with you, again, my program is the right place to do that. So when you imagine that you already are what you will be, and when your assumption is fulfilled, that's what we want to do. Be still, least action, meaning become quiet, become conscious, become aware, become calm, and know that you are that which you desire to be, right? It is in existence. Otherwise, you couldn't even desire for it. So it is there. What would that feel like? Decide that in the morning, decide that in the evening. I said it many times, but do this now for 30 days. And I will promise you, you will notice a change first in yourself. The first changes we see are not external. The first changes we see are changed reactions, changed moods, changed thoughts, changed attitude towards life. And therefore, you will also start to see the outside give you different results. Use the comment section beneath this video as a, let's just say, a tracker. And you can share with me after 30 days. You can come back to this video. You can set a reminder on your phone and say, come back to Nicholas' video on the 30-day exercise. And then come back to this video and comment what happened to you. I want this to be like a community project. Commit yourself to that right now. Let me know in the comments. I will read them. I read actually almost all comments. I will read what you experienced, why you struggled. I will try to reply to some comments. And yeah, more help can be found in my free masterclass and my program. But try this for now. I think you will like it. I think you will enjoy it. And I see you in the next one. Bye, guys.